Now, from the action center of the Twin Cities, News 11 with Paul Majors, Kirsten Lindquist, Jeff Passolt on sports, and meteorologist Paul Douglas.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to toss all formality out the window right now. Just moments ago, we had some amazing pictures from Sky 11 of a tornado moving around. Paul Douglas is right over here right now to bring us up to date. Paul?
Okay, Paul and Kirsten, we want to update you. A tornado warning has been issued for extreme southern portions of Anoka County and northern Ramsey County. Here is the storm that is producing a tornado. This is all hail and very heavy rain. It appears the tornado is right about here in the vicinity of Brooklyn Park. Specifically, this would be in the Brooklyn Park, Anoka, Coon Rapids area, near Blaine, Spring Lake Park, Lino Lakes. Those are towns in the immediate path of this tornado. Do we have live video from Sky 11? Max Mesmer is our Sky 11 pilot, and he is currently up in the vicinity of Brooklyn Park. There was a reported touchdown in Brooklyn Park at 85th and Zane just a few short moments ago. As you can see, there is the tornado. It is indeed on the ground. You can see debris being tossed up, and we want to go live to Max Mesmer.
Thousands of feet in the air. There are flash fires on all the high-tension wires. We're about 3/4 of a mile from the actual touchdown at this time. This is really spectacular.
Max, based on what you've seen, what do you estimate the damage to be in the Brooklyn Park area? I mean, obviously this is causing damage.
Another touchdown. I'm going to have to leave this area here. The debris is drifting my way here.
Please do, Max. Please do not endanger yourself here.
All the high-tension wires.
Again, to repeat, where Max is, he is right in the vicinity of Brooklyn Park. Our friends up in Coon Rapids and Fridley should be taking cover immediately. This is not the kind of thing where we're talking about a watch. This is obviously, as you saw, on the ground. Earlier, about 10-15 minutes ago, this is what the funnel looked like before it touched down. It developed right over Brooklyn Park in northeastern Hennepin County. Now, the prevailing winds are pretty much west to east, so the greatest threat right now is for viewers living in southern Anoka and northern Ramsey County. Again, Brooklyn Center, Fridley, Mounds View, White Bear Lake, Coon Rapids, Centerville, Lino Lakes, all those towns, you should be taking cover immediately underneath the stairway. In your basement offers the greatest protection under some heavy furniture. And do we have the live video? Let's see if we can go back one more time. It is obviously on the ground right now, Paul.
I think what happened is that Max had to move out of the area there, and he has to readjust the signal right now, and that's what's going on. What we're going to do right now is toss to a commercial break. When we come back, hopefully Max and Sky 11 will be in a position to give us another glimpse of that, because we'd like to obviously find out if there's been any damage at this point. Max, needless to say, has had a bird's eye view. We're going to take, actually right now,
we have another
coming up in 5 seconds, they tell us, so we can all take a look at this thing live as it's coming up right here. Max, as I said, as you heard Paul talking to him, and Max himself, there's the new picture right there.
It would appear, if this is correct, that this is a tornado in the dying stage, but
Max,
obviously still very dangerous.
Max, can you hear us, Max? Max. Max Mesmer, this is Paul Majors in the studio. Can you hear us?
I think he has his hands full just flying right now,
You
Paul.
saw this. Max,
it is on the ground. It is most definitely on the ground. I would estimate, just looking at the video and the debris, that the winds are probably 200, 250 miles an hour. Again, it appears that this is in the Brooklyn Park, Coon Rapids.
35W right there, Paul.
Okay.
The interstate.
This is live video.
Hoo-wee.
And Max is a little closer to that than I'd like him to be at the moment.
The flash that you saw as this picture just came up is the high-tension wires.
That's right.
Max was talking about the flash fires on high-tension lines, and that's what we saw as that picture first started.
We should reiterate again, Paul, people in southern Anoka County and northern Ramsey County, you are under the gun. There is the tornado right about there. This is the cell producing the tornado. Currently, Max is right about here. The cell is drifting to the east. Folks, again, in Coon Rapids, Fridley, White Bear Lake, Lino Lakes are in the path of this storm. You should take cover immediately. If you have to, take a radio or a TV down to the basement with you, but for goodness sake, stay away from windows and get inside, get underneath something. If you don't have a basement, the safest place is on the ground floor, a small room like a closet, a bathtub. offers a lot of protection. A lot of people have survived tornadoes by climbing into their bathtubs, putting a mattress on top of them. For goodness sakes, please take it seriously. I'm sure there have been some injuries and some very serious damage just looking at the video we just saw, Paul.
Here's another picture up right now, Paul. Max is trying to, again, get into position where he's in a safe position to give us a picture of this thing. What you're seeing here is the helicopter turning around and obviously the camera operator there trying to do the same thing. I have a question for you, Paul, before we go away and try and establish a picture again. How long can this thing remain up in the air? Will this thing travel over into Wisconsin? We have another picture coming up right now, they're telling us. Here it is.
It is most definitely on the ground, as you can see.
35W right there.
What a frightening sight.
To answer your question, Paul, these can last anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours. The average tornado in Minnesota lasts about 20 minutes or so. This looks like a much more dangerous tornado. This could easily go on for another 15, 20, maybe even 30 or 40 minutes. There you saw another high-tension wire being hit.
Now, I have a question. Did we have a warning up on the air about, there are the flash lines right there, the high-tension lines flashing right there.
We are not even under a watch, technically. There is a severe storm watch west of the cities.
How did this happen then?
It just developed directly overhead. We had 93-degree heat. The dew point is up around 78. The atmosphere is just explosively unstable, and it just erupted in the past couple of minutes over extreme northeastern Hennepin County. Again, it's moving east. That is a dangerous tornado. On a scale, they rate them from a F1 to F5, F5 being a catastrophic tornado, F1 being a minor tornado. That appears like that's an F2 or an F3, which would mean wind speeds in excess of 225, 250 miles an hour. Obviously, if that comes through your neighborhood, it's going to produce total devastation.
The area right here, Paul, by the way, apparently I've just been told by our producer, is Brooklyn Park. This is about a half a mile away from the original touchdown site.
And, Paul, there is a tornado warning up for eastern Hennepin, southern Anoka, and Ramsey County. Again, off the teletype at 4:50, law enforcement personnel reported a tornado on the ground in Brooklyn Center. And it is still on the ground.
Now they're telling us, Paul,
Fridley.
it's Fridley. This is now east of the Mississippi River in Anoka County.
Paul, how long has it been? Can you remember a tornado like this in our area in any time in the recent past?
Frankly, the last big one was the Fridley outbreak back in 1965, so it's almost like deja vu.
This is Fridley again, right here, right now. That's what you're looking at.
And for God's sakes, we have been accused in the media of overhyping things from time to time. This is not hype, folks. This is a potentially deadly situation. For God's sakes, get yourself to the basement if you live in southern Anoka or northern Ramsey County. It is a very dangerous tornado, as you can see. This is not just a little garden variety twister that touches down and lasts for 2 or 3 minutes. This is a killer tornado, and it is now moving across extreme southern Anoka County. Again, towns in the path: Mounds View, White Bear Lake, Spring Lake Park, Lino Lakes, Centerville. They are under the gun, and you should be moving to the basement immediately, underneath the stairwell, under a heavy piece of furniture. I have never seen anything like this, Paul and Kirsten.
Yeah, it is an incredible sight to see. Thankfully, from what we've been able to see live here lately, it looks as though we've gone through basically an area without that many homes and
let's just
people
keep,
in the
Let's see a building there, though, behind it. Doesn't that look like a building?
Let's keep Max a safe distance away from this thing. I'm a little worried about turbulence all around the tornado.
He's probably being quite judicious at this point about his location.
We're told now this is about a half mile east of the Mississippi River, this tornado.